Listen. If you're sitting there with 47 productivity apps, a Notion dashboard that looks like mission control, and a folder full of AI summaries you've never read, you're not productive. You're lost. Modern hustle culture pulled off one of the greatest scams on the internet. It convinced smart people that the goal is to avoid the work, automate everything, scale everything, hack everything, build systems for systems, turn your brain into some hyper efficient little sorting machine that never has to sit still, think hard, or actually care. And people bought it. They started worshiping passive income, optimization, dashboards, automations, prompts, templates, funnels, and every other shiny little toy that promises success without friction. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. If your entire plan is built around not giving a damn, it's already dead. Real work is not passive. Real value is not passive. Building something that actually matters requires pressure, attention, taste, patience, and the ability to stay in the room when the things get ugly. But the internet doesn't want to sell you that. There's no sexy landing page for sit down, shut up, and do the hard thinking. So instead, it sells you the dream. Make money while you sleep. Build an automated business. Use AI to replace effort. Launch a dropshipping store selling some random jade face roller from Alibaba with fake product photos and a chatbot pretending to care while customers wait 6 weeks for garbage they forgot they ordered. That is not entrepreneurship. That is a meat grinder with a Stripe account. And the funniest part? Most of these people don't fail because they didn't optimize hard enough. They fail because there was nothing real underneath. No craft, no care, no actual value. Just a desperate attempt to extract money from people without earning trust first. That is the disease. We've become obsessed with emotion because motion feels safe. Updating the dashboard feels like progress. Saving the article feels like learning. Generating the summary feels like understanding. Building the system feels like doing the work. But it isn't. You can build the cleanest, most color coded productivity setup on earth and still have nothing to say. You can automate your entire life and still be mentally weak. You can collect 10,000 notes and still not have one original thought in your skull because knowledge work is not factory work. Your brain is not an assembly line. It is not here to process widgets faster. It is here to see patterns, make judgments, solve hard problems, and create something with weight behind it. And that does not happen when you're sprinting through a to-do list like a panicked intern. The best thinking usually comes from space, silence, long walks, boredom, staring at the wall like a maniac until the idea finally cracks open. That is where clarity comes from, not from another productivity hack, not from another app, not from some dopamine soaked open plan startup office buzzing like a beehive full of caffeinated children. There's a reason the most serious thinkers act more like monks than startup bros. They protect silence, they limit inputs, they single task, they create constraints. They don't let the world barge into their brain every 6 seconds and piss all over their attention. Because they understand something modern people forgot. Depth requires boundaries. If everything's allowed in, nothing meaningful gets built. And this is where the average internet addict gets destroyed. He doesn't have a mind anymore. He has an attic. A digital attic filled with saved PDFs, AI summaries, half-read newsletters, screenshots, bookmarks, notes, threads, documents, and useful resources he will never touch again. He thinks he's learning. He's not learning. He's hoarding. Saving a book is not reading it. Highlighting a quote is not understanding it. Asking AI to summarize 50 articles does not make you smart. It makes you the exhausted manager of a fake company where every employee is producing documents you will never read. And all that junk has a cost. Every unread note sits in the back of your head like a tiny unpaid debt. Every saved article whispers, "You're behind." Every bloated knowledge system becomes another monument to your lack of focus. That is not a second brain. That is a cognitive landfill. So stop treating your mind like an attic. Treat it like a garden. A garden is alive. A garden is intentional. You don't throw random seeds everywhere and call yourself a farmer. You plant what matters now. You water what you're actually using. You rip out the dead stuff before it chokes everything else. That means if a note hasn't helped you think, write, decide, or build something in the last 90 days, kill it, delete it, compost it. Stop pretending your future self is going to magically become the kind of disciplined genius who reads every random thing your current self was too lazy to process. He won't. Your future self is just you with more tabs open. And this is the bigger problem with modern tools. They removed friction from everything. At first, that sounds amazing. Why read the whole book when AI can summarize it in 10 seconds? Why struggle with the argument when a machine can give you the answer? Why write the rough paragraph yourself when a prompt can spit out something clean? Because the struggle is the point. You don't build a strong mind by receiving conclusions. You build it by wrestling with the material, by reading slowly, by getting confused, by arguing with the author, by writing the idea in your own words and realizing you didn't understand it as well as you thought. That friction is not a bug. That friction is the gym. When you remove all the resistance, don't be shocked when your brain gets soft. You end up with a mind full of answers and no strength behind them. You can repeat the conclusion, but you can't defend it. You can quote the summary, but you can't think from first principles. You sound informed, but underneath it all, there's no weight. That is what happens when you outsource the hard part. So bring the friction back. Read the full thing. Take notes by hand sometimes. Reconstruct the argument without looking. Write the ugly first draft yourself. Sit with a problem longer than 5 minutes before begging a chatbot to rescue you. Yes, it's slower. Good. Slow is where the roots grow. Fast optimization makes everything shallow. Manual effort builds taste. Struggle builds judgment. Friction builds ownership. And ownership is the difference between someone who actually creates and someone who just rearranges information like a bored librarian with Wi-Fi. So here's the real productivity plan. Delete the noise, not organize it, not tag it, not move it into a better folder. Delete it. Bring back friction. Stop letting machines do every piece of thinking for you. Use tools, but don't become a helpless little passenger inside your own brain. Protect blank space like it's gold. An uninterrupted hour is not empty time. It is a luxury asset. It is where the real work happens. Guard it like your life depends on it, because mentally it does. Then focus on output and craft, not scale, not virality, not passive income fantasies. The actual thing you are making today. Make it better. Care more. Stay with it longer than the people who are looking for shortcuts. That's the whole game. You don't need a 14-tab productivity system. You don't need another dashboard. You don't need a guru whispering about optimization while selling you a course from a rented Lamborghini. You need to stop doing the things that guarantee failure. Stop hoarding information you never use. Stop chasing fake passive income schemes built on garbage. Stop letting your phone carve your attention into 1,000 useless pieces. Stop treating your brain like a machine and start treating it like something sacred. Because if you remove the noise, clarity comes back. If you embrace friction, strength comes back. If you give a damn about the craft, value comes back. And when you stop trying to automate your way around the work, You might finally build something real. So close the tabs, delete the junk, pick the thing that matters, then sit down and do the work.